Well, it started for me in 1988 when I was diagnosed with testicular cancer. And it was that time I met my consultant-to-be, Martin Russell. And at that time, and going through the years after that, I chivied Martin to say, no, come on, I really would like to do something. I would like to put something back. So it took a wee while for Martin to grab that, but I was just looking out and I found a letter from him in 22nd September 1989 saying, you were glad to know that, I've spoken to Dr. Robertson and Professor Barrett that you might be interested in helping us in other capacities with the fundraising ventures. So that takes us back to 27th September 1989. It was a while after that and a lot more chivying of Martin Russell that produced a meeting in the old Beatson, the old decrepit Beatson at the bottom of Byers Road on the corner of Dumbarton Road. And it was I went to a meeting and there were a few other people who had clearly expressed other kind of the same sort of sentiments. So we met in I think it was a storeroom actually, it was that decrepit, and we discussed what we might do. And I emerged from that meeting as being nominated of the chairman of something. I didn't know what it was, but that something very quickly had a name, and it was Friends of the Beatson. And we discussed various fundraising opportunities or possibilities. And when I came out of the meeting, I remember phoning Alan Kilpatrick, who hadn't been at that meeting. But I told him of this new idea. The old Beatson in Dumbarton Road, Byers Road, Dumbarton Road, was really pretty decrepit. Both Alan and I knew that the care we got was absolutely fantastic, but the facilities were dreadful, absolutely awful. It was in its last legs, beyond it in fact. So a lot of the fundraising and funding that we did was directed at getting pretty much essentials for patients, and even that extended to buying eventually some electronically controlled beds, because the beds were the old crank handle stuff. So there was that kind of thing. It was very much addressed at patient need, and our watchword was comfort and support of Beatson patients. We built up the fundraising and the funding until our first major project, a real major project, was the formation of what was the Friends of the Beatson Wellbeing Centre at the Beatson, and is now, of course, the Beatson Cancer Charity Centre. And that was done really because the Beatson was moving from its decrepit premises into brand spanking new premises, which is the Beatson West of Scotland Oncology Centre. And we decided to set out and fundraise for that. And then that was ultimately opened, I think, in 2007. Alan and I had been joined by a couple of other people whom we knew as directors. One was Gordon Thompson, who was a chartered accountant, and initially he joined us as a treasurer in 2005, and then was appointed as a director in 2009, just when we needed him, of course, for all that was going on. And he did a great job, not only in that, but on all of the other things that were going on in Friends of the Beatson, including the annual sporting dinner. My role in the dinners were largely to get people on seats, to get people to attend, the prizes and all the rest of it. Alan initially was our, as I called him, our project manager supreme, and he took really control of organising the detail of the dinner and did it very well. Gordon then took over from him quite a bit, and shouldered a lot of the responsibility. And Elizabeth Kennedy joined us and has been, of course, Elizabeth is still a member of the board of directors of Beatson Cancer Charity. We realised that we had in the name, with the Beatson, that Beatson as a charity, something that was very important. And so we wanted to maximise the impact of that. Unfortunately, the directors, or the trustees as it was, of the Beatson Oncology Centre Fund saw it the same way, and the process of forming the Beatson Cancer Charity out of the two charities took us, I think, about 4 years. It was, as Elizabeth Kennedy actually described it, as the longest running corporate finance transaction in history. Well, it was worth it. It was definitely worth it, because it's produced the goods. The Beatson Cancer Charity, it does the business. It has expanded from where we were enormously into provision not only of services, but of also financing of funding of clinical and other nursing posts, into cutting edge research. The Beatson Cancer Charity has very much delivered on my ambitions for the charity, absolutely. And of course our board that we launched with was very strong. Our chairman is a strong chairman, and that board has been much reinforced 2 years ago by the appointment, I think, of 6 or 7 additional directors, and they brought new, different and much needed skills to the board. So the board balance and the board strength has been greatly increased. So yes, I'm very, very happy with what the Beatson Cancer Charity has done, and I have no doubt that the decision that we took back in 2010, completed in 2014, was the right one. The public support for the charity is fantastic. The number of community events that are put on by members of the public for the charity, and the charity's name, is quite amazing. The support we get at things like runs and marathons and all the rest of it, but so much more. So the engagement of the public and our ability to have galvanised that engagement, I think, is very, very satisfying, because it is a brand that is well known because of the very good things that it does and the impact that it's had. I think the continued growth of the Beatson Wellbeing Centre is tremendous. The commitment of our staff, I think, is just marvellous, as I think is the commitment of all the Beatson staff, the Beatson West of Scotland Cancer Centre staff, but certainly all of the Beatson Cancer Charity staff, their commitment, particularly over the last 2 years when things have not been easy with the pandemic. One project we have, of course, is the specialist work, Shaw's project. I think that does a fantastic job. So yeah, I'm very happy with what the Beatson Cancer Charity has achieved, and very, very glad we took the decision to form it, and to see it having developed is very satisfying. Most recent project, of course, the MRI project, to have generated, I think, certainly in excess of 1.8 million for that, and to have played our part in this new MRI project, which is not designed for a diagnosis, but it's designed, like Anthony Chalmers' project, for treatment of patients. The sporting dinners were great fun, and we've had so many wonderful speakers: Dennis Law, Sebastian Coe, so many different speakers from the world of sport, and other speakers too. We've had great. It's been a labour, but a labour of love.